Hello, my name is Claudio. I'm coming from Nevo Parudimos Association and my position is project coordinator. About my work, I'm mainly getting involved in two big parts of Erasmus world, let's say, if we can call it like that. More exactly, getting involved in youth exchanges, for example, and the other big part is getting involved in volunteering projects, more newly European Solidarity Corps program. In these projects, there is a constant process of learning. Participants in general, they don't really realize what they are learning. They are doing all sorts of things, and if they don't have time to take a step back and reflect a little on their actions, they don't truly realize what they are learning. So what I'm doing, for example, when I'm coordinating a youth exchange, well, there we have sessions per day, and at the end of each session, we have a debriefing part. In the debriefing part, it's the place where participants can realize more concrete, and by getting feedback from other participants, from facilitators or trainers and so on, then is a moment when they realize what they have learned or improved in that session. In the same time, we have evaluation sessions. For example, in the youth exchange, we have an evaluation session in the middle of the project, and a huge evaluation session at the end of the project. There is another part where they find out what kind of skills they developed. In the same time, they are developing many other things that are maybe not necessarily talked in the debriefing activities or even in the evaluation. Like, for example, they learn how other cultures are working, how they can become friends with people that have a completely different point of view about life. So these things, let's say, we are not talking about them in detail, but still they are improving and they are developing these kind of social skills, let's say. Then in the other part, in the volunteering projects, the learning dimension, here we have another key resource. More exactly, we have mentors. Each of the volunteer has a mentor, and the mentor, it's let's say, in the life of the volunteer, the big parts are, let's say, hosting organization, which, let's say, it's represented by me as I'm coordinating a project. Then they have the organizations that are sending them, and of course they also have the mentors, which is a big part of their life, a new life in another country doing volunteering. And one of the main tasks of the mentor is to talk, to have meetings here and there with the volunteer and talk about his new life, about his new lifestyle, how he's coping with it, how he's making friends and so on. But also a huge part of this is the learning process of the volunteer. So the mentor is there to help the volunteer find out if he learned or not some things. Because as I said earlier, we are basically learning every day. Like, even when I go and I'm going to do some shoppings, the fact that I'm in another country, different currency, maybe the salesman does not talk English and so on. So one way or another, I'm gonna buy what I need. And in the end, I'm gonna learn something, but I will not think about it. I just went there, it was a little difficult, but I managed to buy, and that's it. But if I don't talk with somebody about all this process and so on, I don't realize if I improved some skills, if I learned how to do that and so on. Second time I'll go and do shoppings, will be probably more easy. So this means, and it's a proof that I actually improved myself. Next time will be easy. Yeah? Another thing that happens in volunteering projects, here we have weekly meetings with volunteers, we have meetings with volunteers and maybe local stakeholders, local partners. Also from time to time we have evaluation meetings. They need to fill monthly or weekly, depending on the organizations. They need to fill in evaluation forms and so on. So I would say that when you draw a line in this life of Erasmus, let's say, of youth work, they are constantly learning stuff. In general, we don't really see and realize what we are learning, but then we have exactly this activity of evaluation, reflection activity, debriefing activity, and this is the moment when everybody finds out what they are improving and what they are learning.
Hello, my name is Claudio. I'm 20 years old and I'm at university, and I'm a volunteer local from Reșița. Yes, I use this like to talk to other people I didn't know very well. I know how to express myself to other people, and used to be more open-minded.
I'm Irina Berzenishvili, 22 years old volunteer from Georgia. And I arrived in Reșița at Association Nevo Parudimos in September 2020. And I've been working here since then. It's almost end of my project and I would like to share my experience.
How was for you the learning process during this 1 year?
During this 1 year, the learning process was in two ways for me. The first way was me learning something new, and it was happening without me noticing it, like every day. For example, I had to live with 4 different people, and every day I was learning something, not in a way that I could understand, but later I was realizing that, oh, I know this about their country, or I know this about their history or whatever, and I didn't know where this knowledge came from. And then I was realizing that all these things, not only about history and this kind of things, but also about cooking, about art, about everything, it was coming from everyday interactions. And also I was learning a lot from my coordinators and from the people that I was looking at Nevo Parudimos, because when they were making projects with us, they were never making it by themselves and then giving us directions, but they were always asking us what would work the best for us. So we were involved and we could see how things were managed and how they were doing some stuff that we were also involved. And the second way that I was seeing learning here was me teaching children. And every day we used to go to school with a certain program. It was always game-based and we tried to make some non-formal educational activities. But I noticed later that not only those activities had impact, but some of the little things that we were doing out of the class. For example, I remember I used to open for kids and I used to tell them, okay, please, you leave before me. And later, there was one boy who started doing the same. Like, he used to open the door and he used to let me go first. And those kind of little details really make you think that the things that you do goes deep down in their unconscious and really makes the effect on their life.